All right, Nick, what episode number is this?
According to me, 2,900.
And according to me, a different number. So we're just going to go with Nick. Ty goes to the director of the program. It is TexAgs Rewind. And we had I don't know, like it was a good show. It was, like I don't know what else to tell you. Like I liked it. I enjoyed the show. Nick, did you enjoy it?
Of course. I enjoy every show.
Every show?
Every show.
Have you noticed people still being a little bit agitated?
A little bit, but I mean, the mood definitely has been better because of Connor Wigman.
That is correct. Connor Wigman was the topic of the Go Hour, at least for a good portion of it, as why wouldn't he be? The potential with him at quarterback goes a long, long way. We talked to Jamie McCoy. I asked him, do we go bad first or do we go good? He goes, let's go bad first. So we went bad, Aggies, which is, stopping the run the other day against Ole Miss. Straight talk with Jordan Pugh, as we always do. And, man, he's been kind of grumpy with the Aggies. He was very happy with the Connor Wigman performance. And we got to know a little bit about the Gators. I almost tweeted out like a GIF of a crocodile hunter, but I was like, but crocodiles and alligators are different. But to me, they're the same thing. People would have gotten the joke. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's TexAgs Rewind.
You know what? Somebody put this on our board, but I was thinking about it too. I don't know how good Connor's going to be, but I loved what I saw from him. And I remember thinking, I don't know how good this Manziel guy is going to be in his first game, but I loved what I saw from him. And then, the more experience he got, the better he got.
Yep.
And if Connor is able to show improvement each week, and I'm not saying by leaps and bounds, just get a little bit better each week, and there's no reason not to expect that he won't get a little
bit better doesn't necessarily mean better stats. You're saying like command of the offense. He may throw a pick here. He's going to run into some mistakes, but you want to see the growth at the position.
Yeah. Something like, and this happens, but you'll remember this, and it cost A&M a chance to score. He got under pressure. He got away from pressure. Looked like he might run for a nice gain, and he tripped. Mm-hmm. He didn't get tripped. He tripped. Yeah. And it was a 6-yard loss, and it ended up leading to I think they're at the 30, and it ended up leading to a punt. But, do almost everything you did last week, but if you find yourself in trouble, get out of it and make that play.
Do you remember, reminds me a couple times last year in the press box, the same kind of situation happened with Zach. You're like, he's going to run, and then he falls.
Yes.
And I think some of that is nerves, and some of it's just bad luck, right?
Some of it's bad luck.
And some of it is like, I've been hit a lot. I don't want to get hit again.
But Zach, with the exception of the Alabama game, was typically, not always, but typically struggling in the passing game as well.
Yeah.
Connor was not doing that. And, I've said this too. One of the things that's just a small little thing that should be just a layup, right? Mm-hmm. That Connor did in that game that I haven't seen done well in 2 years is that he just threw the little flare pass out into the flat, and he got it there.
On target.
Calzada would throw it with the velocity of a Nolan Ryan fastball, and we couldn't understand, why aren't you catching it? Well, the ball's ricocheting off guys' hands because you're throwing it too hard for such a short pass.
Bad is losing 4 in a row in 5 games, and it's November 1st, and they did that before we got to November.
Yeah. See, I'm okay with it, man. I hate even using the term rebuilding year, but let's be honest, that's what this has turned into. We got to try to spin this thing out positively somehow. And more than anything, anything that I'm doing, I love the mishaps. I love taking my lumps and knowing, okay, I learned from this. This is how I'm going to get better, and this is how I'm going to use this to move forward. So the point that we're at right now, we got the most young kids we've had playing ever. And in my eyes, I see this as nothing but experience. If we can get the bulk of these kids to come back around, I think we're going to be so nice, so filthy next year. I hate even having to go to next year in the middle of this year. But it is what it is, and that's where we are. But with that bad, I think there's still a silver lining in there. These guys are getting experience that you can't coach. You can't get this on the sideline. I love him going to Wigman for the rest of the year. I think it's going to be great for us moving forward.
How about the Achane part of this game, because when he was effective, they were so effective. In the second half, obviously, Connor lit him up in the fourth, but they went away from Achane, only got 7 carries, and you know, why do you think that was the case? Because, I mean, it wasn't that much of a catch-up you had to do.
I think we force-fed him a little bit, I think. I think if you look at the whole season, we've been trying to force-feed him because he's been the only offense that we could generate, right? It's just been him. When you look at what Connor did, man, he was able to generate the offense in the first half. And I think at that particular moment, Jimbo got in his own way because he know that Achane's our best player. We got to get him the ball. He's our spark on offense. But I think sometimes, I think in this particular instance, he just got away from what was working. You saw it click back over in the fourth quarter when he started hitting the RPO game a little bit more. He started trusting Connor a little bit more downfield. You saw the offense open up, and that opened up more lanes for Achane to run, just like it did in the first quarter and second quarter. I just think that we got in our own way in that particular instance because we know that we had to have offensive plays generated from Achane previously in the past few weeks.
Yeah, and do you expect them, like against Florida this week, Achane's got to be a huge part of the recipe again, right?
No, Achane, yes. He always has to be a huge part, but Achane can't be the main part because if I'm Florida, I'm taking Achane away from you, period. Connor, you're going to have to beat me through the air. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to load this box up, and it's an air raid from there on out. That's what I would do if I was Florida. Prove to me that you're that guy. Prove to me that you're the 5-star guy. Achane is going to make his place because he's been making something out of nothing all season long. Now, you got Muhammad on the outside, man. You saw Chase Zoning play a lot. You know what Evan can do. Those guys have got to be effective and win those one-on-one battles. Man, if we can do that, we can beat Florida.
How are Florida fans looking at this game? Because I'll tell you how A&M fans are looking at this game, and they looked at it this way against South Carolina. They looked at it this way against App State. They're like, oh, that's a winnable game. That's a game they should win. How are Florida fans looking at this game?
I think they're viewing it, I don't know about should win, but it is a winnable game. And as I look at this, the rest of their season, it's Texas A&M, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and then Florida State. I think the only one that you can kind of Sharpie as a win is Vanderbilt, although Vandy is better. The other 3, they could go 0-3, they could go 3-0, and I don't think either one would surprise me. Although I do think FSU is a good bit better than the Gators. So this is just one of those coin flips and kind of a coin flip season, honestly. But it's one that the Gators really need to have because again, with the way the rest of the schedule works, if they don't get this, they could still make a bowl, but it's not going to be easy. And I think that's an achievement this team really needs to make this year in Billy's first year.
So before Connor Wegman had his performance this past weekend, I would have said the obvious game plan is to limit Devon Achane and make them beat you in the air. But considering that Connor's shown the ability to throw and play up-tempo and that Florida has their issues in the secondary, what do you think the Florida game plan is?
I do think it would be probably to try and stop the run first and foremost. Billy's kind of an old school coach in that way. He's very heavy on the run game. Some of it's he's had really good backs going back to when he was at Louisiana. So that and then kind of play action off of that on offense. And I still think on defense that's something he would really like to do. And you're right. I mean, Achane's a fantastic player, one of the better ones in the SEC. If I were trying to slow down A&M, that's where I would stop it first and foremost. That would be my game plan, and I expect that to be a big focus for Billy's Gators on Saturday.
All right, Nick, do you think people would have understood, I was trying to be kind of similar? Do you know the difference between a gator and a crocodile?
No, not at all.
But there is a difference, right?
There's a difference. The emoji that is on the overlay that people can see, it's technically a crocodile, so might get 100 dislikes for it, but
that's fine. That's fine. You know what I want? I want for people to explain to us the difference. I know the difference, but Nick doesn't know the difference. On the comments, tell us the difference between a gator and a crocodile. All right? And by the way, I know gators live in Florida and crocodiles don't, right? Is that right, Nick? Probably?
Sure.
I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Just like, comment, subscribe, do what you do. Later.